I started sharpening back in 1988. Yeah. And I would wonder, especially in those early days, am I doing a good job sharpening or not? I had no way to compare my sharpening other than, people I went behind that was sharpening. And have you ever wondered whether you're sharpening, how it compares to other people? Are you a good sharpener if you're sharpening beauty shears? Well, we're going to look at two people and see if they're sharpening, how it compares to each other and how it compares to other people sharpening. That's part of the International Scissor Sharpeners Association certification. And we're going to find out if these two people passed. So I have two that came in yesterday, and so I will look at both of them together. And one's from the East Coast and one's from the West Coast of the United States. Now we get people from all over the world that send in shears for me to look at. The way we do this, if you're new to my channel or new to this whole certification thing, is I damage two shears. If you look around, you'll see videos that shows exactly how I damage them. I send them to you, you sharpen them, and I'm looking for, do you convex a convex edge shear? Do you bevel the bevel edge shear? Do they cut? That's it. If you're one that have tried the ISSA and maybe didn't pass and it's kind of looking at doing them again, we have a class at the Sharpeners Jam this year that I'll be teaching. Be a hands-on class. You bring your equipment, and when you get through, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to pass, because we're going to go through the whole thing. So make sure you check about the Sharpeners Jam. We're going to do it in person, and there'll be some videos online if you want to participate in that. A lot of people wonder, who are you, Bonnie, that you judge our sharpening? Well, I've been around the block a little bit. I started Bonika Shears, which is our company, and I started training sharpeners because we were selling shears and people were messing them up, and then the hairstylists would blame the quality of our shears on the way they cut, and it wasn't our fault, it was the sharpeners. So we got into doing sharpening training. We have equipment. I sell the Cymec machine. We're exclusive for that. And now we're doing also, you might see back behind here, clipper blade machine, which is Nebraska blades. I do clipper blade training. And former school teacher, I enjoy teaching. And I kind of enjoy looking at these ISSA. So without further ado, let's dive into it and see what we've got here. So I don't want to reveal the names of these people. I might if it's excellent sharpening, but I'm going to pull them out, and we can go by numbers, because we give them all numbers. They get a certificate and an ID card. Whether they pass or not, they get a nice ID card, professional ID card, that they're a member. So you don't have to be certified to be a member. Of course, it's good to be certified just for your own edification, to know, what it looks like. Now, it looks like both these people sent me letters. I do give a written test. I'm going to look these tests over really quickly, but let me give you the numbers of these people. This is the 310893. There's his two shears, and 3108, can't read it, 37. So that way I don't get them mixed up. So I'm going to look real quick at their test. Okay, there's only one mistake, and this is on the 310837. It says, what can be done if the tips don't meet? And he's got bend the handles, which is correct, but if you'd read all the way through, it says trim the bumper, which you can do, bend the handles, of course, which is what you can do, shorten the tip, yeah, and then D is all of the above. The correct answer would have been all of the above. Bend the handles, you got to be careful. You could break it. So that's kind of like my last, if they really are far away apart, that would be when I would bend the handles. If I can get by with just trimming the bumper or shortening the tip, I would do so. All right, so I'm going to set these aside, and both of them wrote me a nice little letter. So I'm going to look at the letters after we look at the shears. So my first thing I do is I get out the cheap toilet tissue. This is the stuff from Dollar Tree. The cheapest stuff I can buy. Things that you find in the gas station, service station. And I cut it dry and then I cut it wet. Now when I cut it dry, I pull my thumb out and do the least pressure possible. So I've got my thumb out. Slow catches what fast doesn't catch. That cut. All right, this is number, I'm just going to use the last two numbers, 93. So 93 cut. That's the beveled edge. This is the convex edge. It cuts dry. And this is number 37. Thumb out. Slow. It cuts. And slow catches things that fast doesn't cut. And slow. Well, they all cut dry. Let's see if they cut wet. So wet. Yep. Wet. Ooh, that was a nice cut. Felt really good. This one is not cutting wet. You see that? It did the second snip. On these beveled edges, if they don't cut perfectly wet, I don't worry about it because they're using them usually for dry cuts and they're lower, you know, it's a plastic handle. It's a lower quality scissor. So this is what I'm looking for, is this one. And this does not cut wet. So this is number 37. Let's see how they cut hair. 93. Good cut. 93. Convex. Little bit of push, you see that? But that would pass. This is 37. Nice crisp cut. So this one will pass. I'm just going to make sure it's really a beveled edge. We'll look at them closer in a second. And then this is the convex. You see how it pushes? It does cut without flipping, but it pushes. I'm going to say this one didn't pass, but we're going to look at them closer and see what they look like. So, here's my magnifier. We sell these, by the way. I really like this one. They use as a AA battery. And the way, of course, mine's been giving me some problems. We had another one that was a, and I just put batteries, there it goes. I just put batteries in here. If you get one of these like this from us and it doesn't work right, let us know. We'll swap it out. So if you use this magnifier, you put it on what you're looking at and bring the two up to your eye. And what I'm looking for now is seeing if the beveled edge is really a beveled edge. I'm looking to see whether he tried to do a ride line on a shear that doesn't have a ride line. And he left the serrations alone, which is good. This one is really, really smooth. I'm not sure what he did to make it so smooth. And I'm double checking the tips and seeing if they come together and if they're not too pointy. There's a little bit on the pointy side. I might have rounded them off a little bit more, but other than that, that one looks good. So, number 93, what I'm looking for is if he's convexed it. And this is not convexed. He's beveled it. Now they come as semi-convex. I would like to see this convexed. I'm not sure what he's done to him. Yeah, that's just a true bevel. Remember I said it pushed a little bit and you're going to see this at the tip? You see that's a bevel. That's flat. What it's supposed to look like, let me get a convex edge shear. This is one of our Bonika Shears, and it is convex edge. I want you to see the difference. So I'm going to put this up here and rotate it for you to look at. See, that's what a true convex edge looks like. This one is definitely a bevel. You see how it's flat there? And I want to show you that tip. Looks like the angle changed a little bit. You see it even more on the other one. See? You see how the angle? And it was actually a little bit of hair hanging there. What I'm also going to look at is the ride line. That's this little shiny line down, right down in here. Ride line looks good. Nicks are gone. But he didn't convex it. And this is his beveled edge, which he's left the serration on. Once again, the tips are a little pointy for me, but so this is one of those things where I have to be very subjective. Yes, number 93, sharpen these shears. They cut hair, they cut wet tissue. The customer will probably be reasonably happy with them. But if another sharpener came into the area and they had a flat hone system, sort of like our Cymec here, and they could do a true convex on it. I'm not trying to sell the machine because I've seen other people that don't have a flat hone that was able to create a reasonable facsimile of a convex edge that would be hard for anybody to tell the difference. But this person could have someone come back into their area and show them a shear with a true convex and say, this is what it's supposed to look like. And this other person, they've changed the angle on your shears, and they could lose a lot of business because of it. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm looking to see if it cuts dry tissue, wet tissue, hair, and if the convex is a convex and a bevel is a bevel. And this number 93, it passed all of those, but it's not a true convex. He's got a decent ride line. It feels nice and smooth. It's adjusted right, but I'm going to give it a not passing, almost passing. I'd like to see him do it again. Let me know if you'd like me to send it back. And this other one, it was pushing hair, but he did convex it. Let me see what that ride line looks like. This is number 37. Now, see, his problem, it looks like, is the ride line. The ride line is pretty much gone on here. Well, when I get in here closer, I see the ride line. It's tiny. See if I can tell what's going on here. Now, this ride line, it's here, but it's almost non-existent. See, this part here is the edge. And it's pretty wimpy. Let me go back and look at these again. Yeah, if someone was cutting with this one, you see how it just scoots out? I'm thinking probably what happened here is he was so intent on making this look nice and shiny and convex that he's rounded over the edge, and that's what's causing it to push. Yeah, these are, I mean, let's read the letters. All right, so for number 37, that's this one here that didn't pass. Number 37 is from the West Coast. Okay, he said he had trouble with beveled edge, but he said he got that one. Convex, different story. He had quite a pronounced bevel, especially at the tip. Yeah, it is. And took him some time to reshape it. It ended up with a lighter shear. On hindsight, I wish I'd weighed it before removing the bevel just to see how much lighter it was. Hope I've done a fairly decent job. He did a fairly decent job. Be as critical as possible, and hope to see your evaluation on YouTube. Yeah, I'd like to see him do it again, and the thing is, it's just not a crisp edge on this. But the convexing on it that he created looks good, and the fact that it's lighter, that's what happens when you go behind, recreate a bevel. But he did a really good job in that it doesn't have a deep, sometimes when people go in and change a bevel to a convex, they have like a deep, like a well or like a little dip right here, and he didn't do that. So I think he's so close to passing. I'd like to send these back and let him do them again. Now let's read the letter from the other person. Okay, this person enjoyed the challenge too. The burr on the bevel edge was a mess to get off. Yep. But we decided he passed on the beveled edge. I've been waiting to take tests since every convex I've done I've thought could be better. I feel like this one is perhaps my best to date. Disaster. I lost a clicker from the beveled edge. Oh, first time ever, and I lost any part. Thank goodness I had a replacement. Okay, so these are the exact opposite issues. This one did a great job of convexing, but went so far that the edge is no longer crisp. This one has a nice crisp edge, didn't push hair, feels good, but it's not true convex. So I mean, if you could just combine these and they would be one shear, it would be perfect. This is kind of an interesting comparison. And he was talking about how much lighter the shear was if he could weigh it. You can kind of look here and see how this blade is skinnier and that's a little fatter. So a little bit of metal, has been taken off to reshape it, but that's what I was looking for you to be able to do. And as I said, if you wanted to come to our Sharpeners Jam, my class where I'm doing the ISSA, that would be free for anybody who has entered the ISSA and hasn't passed and need a little bit of tweaking of their work. But so no passing yet, but really close and a little bit of work. And both these guys, East Coast and West Coast, if East and West could just meet together, they could really learn from each other. But none of these are bad enough that I would be hesitant to give them to a customer. You don't have to be perfect to make your customer think you're perfect and you're doing a wonderful job. But you do need to take certain steps that will keep your customers and help ward off the maybe other sharpeners that might come into the area that have maybe better equipment or better training, and they can, they have ways of ethically taking your customers just by comparing their work to yours, and you don't want that to happen. Now, we're not talking about the unethical sharpeners out there, but there's really very few. And part of being a part of the ISSA, you have agreed to treat other sharpeners ethically. It's hard to say fast, or slow even. And hopefully, let me know if there's another member of the ISSA that's not playing fair with you. So, good luck on the next round, and I hope to put a YouTube video up about it. So, you're interested in the ISSA. We're going to be having a hands-on workshop at the Sharpeners Jam. And almost guarantee, that by the end of the workshop, you'll have passed the ISSA. I'll be watching over you, holding your hands, walking you through it. If you can't pass after coming to this workshop, must have the wrong equipment. Come join us at the
Wrong
Sharpener's
job.
Job. Oh, Mystie says the wrong job. We'll see you at the Sharpener's Jam, and everybody should pass and be certified with the International Scissor Sharpeners Association. If you haven't passed so far, you haven't tried, this is one of the many classes. We have 7 hands-on workshops and some other free presentations at the Sharpener's Jam in person here in beautiful Loganville, suburb of Atlanta. Putting together some things for some garage sales for the Sharpener's Jam. Make sure you keep up with it. It'll be posted in the Sharpener's Jam group on Facebook.